procedures were followed. As those concerns grow, SABGA is set to make another bid for freedom in court tomorrow. Shaliza Hassanali reports.
Attorney Farid Ali is calling on the government to come clean with the leaked recording between Genevieve Hadid and her aunt Star Sabga that is now the center of an escalating public debate on social media. Excerpts of the recording were used in an affidavit presented to the court by Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander on Friday. However, one day later, the entire 15-minute phone call recording made its way to social media.
State needs to come out in the open and say whether this is indeed a leaked version. We don't know for sure whether that is indeed the audio. I think the public is social media has gone crazy in listening to this, and they're acting disproportionately in relation to what is heard.
He says if it is indeed the audio, questions would arise as to how it was leaked, having been in the possession of the state.
It means to say that officially or unofficially, someone who acts in the capacity of an officer of the state, and I'm using that expression very loosely, chose to release it into the public space. It means to say somebody's accountable.
But Ali cautioned that the authenticity of the audio clip must first be determined.
There may be serious editing to that particular voice note that we've heard.
If the recording is a professionally edited version, Ali says, it may cause persons to wrongly form a view as to the actions of the state, whether it was proportionate or correct in acting as they do. He says some people who listen to the recording may assess it as being harmless.
It may sound at first glance to be the rant of somebody who's frustrated and therefore may not be willing to act any further in relation to the comment they made, meaning they're giving vent. They don't have any intention to take it any further.
Meanwhile, former Attorney General Gavin Nicholas is expressing worry about the wiretapping of citizens' phones and the ongoing state of emergency.
I am very concerned based on the contents of the leaked audio report. If that is the reason that persons were detained for over a month and have their rights and their liberties denied, because I don't see that as a threat.
Nicholas explains what needs to be done as proper procedure.
So with regards to phone tapping and warrants for phone tapping, there is a clear procedure that one would approach the court with evidence in order for the court to grant permission for phone tapping. If it is that the government properly approached the court and they were granted based on proper evidence, that is one thing.
Information contained in a 19-page affidavit dated July 24, 2026, sworn by Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander and submitted to the court last Friday showed the intercepted conversations of Hadid and Sabga. Details of the affidavit showed that the mobile and electronic devices of the Hadids were exploited by partner agencies in the United States. The Hadids and Sabga were arrested last month under a preventative detention order during a state of emergency. Last Tuesday, Alexander revoked the Hadids' PDO, allowing them to walk free without being charged. Meantime, Sabga's matter will resume in court today. Questions sent to Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander, Attorney General John Jeremy, Commissioner of Police Alistair Guevara, and Strategic Services Agency Director Alicia Henry were not responded to up to press time. Shaliza Hassanali, CNC3 News.
Thanks, Shaliza. Now, in light of the Hadids, Star Sabga and others challenging their detentions, we asked, should there be a review into how preventive detention orders are issued under the state of emergency?
Sure, right, because it come like Roger Alexander and whosoever dictating people pace in the sense that we come like we have no rights no more. You understand me? We have no rights no more. You see how this country going? Instead I go up, it go down?
Yes, I feel so, because I don't know where they're going with this. They just want to how we don't. So yes, I feel it's supposed to have our next review, because I find that is against the general public. So how we as Trinidadians, how we grow up, how we know where life is. So they're trying to take that away from us then.
Yeah, they could review it because people and so like the state of emergency, and then again they feel the advantage in the public with the state of emergency in a way. So that's what I think about it.
Yes, I'm saying yes, because at the present state now, or what has happened with the people in this country, and I'm not just talking about the Syrians, I'm talking about everybody, what has been done, and I'm saying yes, there should be a review.
No, I don't think so, because it kind of helping with the crime situation right now.
Yes, I believe so. Why? Because a minister having too much power over simple matters like that is not right.
Now to this. Tobago residents are shocked after a major human trafficking bust left the Signal Hill community disturbed by the allegations. On Saturday, police arrested 38-year-old Damon Dominic Charles and raided his property at Aquamarine Drive. Charles is being held under a preventive detention order pending investigations into trafficking in children and sexual penetration of a minor. 3 police vehicles returned to the property on Sunday, with officers taking pictures and gathering further evidence. Residents tell CNC3 News they were in disbelief that such activity could occur in their peaceful community. One neighbor, speaking on condition of anonymity, says Charles would visit the house occasionally and expressed doubt that he could be involved in nefarious activities. However, Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander says it is a mistake to judge a book by its cover.
While we see everybody else with this great face, jacket and tie and all that, you never know what they're involved in. Some people disguise themselves to such an extent, and it's almost impossible to believe.
Alexander is, however, praising the public for sharing information on suspicious activity and officers for their coordinated response. And while the raid at Charles's home was taking place, an exercise at Chill Out Bar resulted in 5 Latin American women between 22 and 44 years old being detained. 2 have been released after proving their immigration status.
If the trafficking, I don't condone such. Worse again, if it's underage people, adult. If they hold them under duress and have them be caught for whatever reason, they take them and put them away, they're totally wrong. Don't hold people and do them that. Don't do it.
Well, a member of the Defense Force and a 26-year-old Venezuelan woman have also been detained in what police are calling Operation Iceberg, which sought to probe the sexual exploitation of a 17-year-old Venezuelan girl. Meanwhile, police from various divisions are investigating 3 separate home invasions which took place between Friday and Saturday night. In the most recent incident on Saturday night, police say bandits stormed the Balandra home of a couple, tying them up and stealing their Toyota Axio car. Hours earlier, at around 2:40 p.m., a 45-year-old woman was at her 9th Avenue Barataria apartment when 2 bandits walked into her home and pistol-whipped her before stealing over $18,000, later escaping in a waiting car. On Friday night, bandits also broke into the home of a family at Boise Trace Kelly Village, stealing $400 Canadian, a Canadian passport, and jewelry. Officers of the multi-operational police section were called in and arrested 3 suspects, including 2 18-year-olds at a nearby riverbank. Amidst concerns of a brewing gang war in Morvant, residents in several affected communities are hopeful that peace and unity can be restored. But without proper social interventions, some fear the problem would only get worse. Shane Superville has the story.
I see generations are killing. It didn't just start today. It didn't just start this week.
Violent crime has been a recurring problem for Morvant residents for decades, but recent concerns of intensified gang activities and a police-involved shooting has once again put the community on alert. CNC3 News visited different neighborhoods in Morvant where the unease was clear. Kindergarten teacher and vice president of the Chinapoo Community Center, Ashana La Rosa, says the victims of violence aren't just statistics, as real families are left to deal with the loss.
It's scary in truth. To know it have so much babies around and then you're losing your daddies a lot. Because one of our preschoolers lost their father just some days ago. So it's very heart heavy.
Laventille East Morvant MP Christian Birchwood laments the spate of murders, noting that while crime is the most visible problem, it's only one part of a much wider issue affecting neighborhoods, as he appealed for urgent community-level intervention to take away the appeal of criminality for young people.
By extension, I would say we have a societal problem that needs to be fixed, right? That is the only way I could see someone using a weapon to end another person's life.
But one resident in Monrepo, one of the areas affected by gang violence, says once there's enough state support for viable community development, peace would inevitably follow.
If these communities now realize things going on, we could come together and understand, hey, I have family in Chinapo. Chinapo have family in Monrepo. Brothers grow up with brother live in Chinapo, brother, so it ain't making no kind of sense.
But even without state support, La Rosa says Morvant residents should be their brother's keeper.
You need to feel each other pain. That's the whole thing. Just a little sympathy we need.
And wherever the solution may be, Morvant residents hope it's found sooner rather than later. Shane Superville, CNC3 News.
When we come back, details on the fatal boat accident that occurred off Icacos.
If you could see what the future holds, you'd see that while things change, you've still got it. You are strong, resilient, inspiring, and you won't be defined by time. You'll own every minute of it because you were made for more. Discover how Alive multivitamins by Nature's Way help you age vibrantly.
Do you think all dishwashing soaps are the same? With some, they require more effort, and they don't wash as much. Try Dawn and discover its grease cleaning power. Dawn removes stuff grease easier and faster than others. Additionally, it foam lasts 50% more. With Dawn, you use less product to clean more dishes and save with every wash. Dawn, triple grease cleaning power.
Welcome back. A Venezuelan man is dead while 2 others survived after a pirogue allegedly carrying copper to the Bolivarian Republic sank in rough seas off Icacos between Friday night and Saturday. The incident comes just days after another pirogue capsized off Los Iros, killing 2 Venezuelan migrants, including a 6-year-old girl. Here's Radhika De Silva and Che Tikasing with more.
Another illegal sea voyage between Trinidad and Venezuela has ended in tragedy after Venezuelan national Julio Lopez drowned. Head of the Hunters Search and Rescue Team, Valence Rambarat, says the boat allegedly left Erin Beach loaded with copper. 3 Venezuelans and 1 Trinidadian man were on board when the boat overturned around 6 o'clock on Saturday.
We could confirm he swam and came out in Icacos village. 2 others were clinging to a fuel tank, and one unfortunately lost his life, and his body was recovered here in Icacos.
Volunteer searcher Alexi Sumai says teams searched the shallow mangroves along the Icacos coastline for the missing passengers.
Up to now, they're still looking for 2 bodies, but they haven't found nobody yet. It was 3 of them. And then fishermen from Wiretapping, they're looking for him. But they haven't found them at all. We went down all in the back, so plenty were looking for them, yeah. And so when them fellas looking, they went up the other and they find him. And after that, we didn't see nothing there.
CNC3 News understands that increased Coast Guard patrols in Icacos and the Gulf of Paria have forced smugglers to shift their operations to Erin, Los Iros, Palo Seco, and Mon Diablo. Cedros Councillor Shankar Tilak Singh says the recent tragedies at sea are cause for concern.
Law enforcement agencies are heavily present in the Cedros district, trying to manage that whole process. So it's only obvious they will shift it to another area that is open. So I think it's something that both Homeland Security Minister and also the Minister of Defense, together with their team, now reassess and put the resources where it's needed, and at the same time cover the Citrus district where we had the problem before.
Since the one-year ban was imposed on copper exports, the illegal trade between Trinidad and Venezuela has increased. A source told CNC3 News there has been increased illegal traffic since the earthquakes in Venezuela. Last Wednesday, a boat loaded with 29 passengers, including 6 children, overturned at Losiru, causing a 6-year-old girl and a Venezuelan man to drown. Radhika D. Silva, CNC3 News.
2 Trinidad and Tobago maritime experts have been appointed to Guyana's Commission of Inquiry into the capsizing and sinking of the MV Barima. Attorney Nairi Don Alfonso and retired Rear Admiral Hayden Pritchard are among 5 commissioners tasked with investigating the disaster. The commission will be chaired by Justice Godfrey Philip Smith of Belize. The other members are a Polish naval architect, a marine engineer, a captain, a senior maritime surveyor and compliance auditor with Jamaica's Maritime Authority. The MV Barima capsized and sank off Guyana's coast on July 18th while traveling from Georgetown to Port Kaituma. The commission will examine the causes of the tragedy, including the condition of the vessel, passenger management, safety procedures, crew conduct, and the search, rescue, and recovery response. The MV Golden Carrier made its maiden trip from Trinidad to Tobago on Sunday as it commenced sea trials before officially taking over on the sea bridge. The vessel left Port of Spain at 8:50 a.m. and took approximately 5 hours and 20 minutes to arrive at the Scarborough port. The Port Authority confirms technical onboard inspections were conducted to scrutinize the vessel's readiness for loaded sea trials. The authority says the vessel has impressed stakeholders since its arrival on Saturday with smooth berthing in Port of Spain and Scarborough. Although leaving Trinidad empty, the vessel is expected to be loaded with cargo as it makes its way back to Trinidad at 11 p.m. tonight. In a video release, Port Authority Chairman Rodney Ramroop praised the vessel as the most superior in this country's history. It replaces the MV Blue Wave Harmony, which has been pulled from service to undergo maintenance and upgrades. The authority says commercial sailings are expected to begin shortly. No official request has yet been sent to the Caribbean Court of Justice for an advisory opinion on the reappointment of CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett. The CCJ says it is aware of public reports that a request may be forthcoming, but has not received any formal application from CARICOM. The issue stems from Trinidad and Tobago's objection to the process used to reappoint Barnett for a second 5-year term. CARICOM leaders agreed earlier this month to refer the matter to the CCJ while allowing the reappointment to remain in effect until the court gives its opinion. The CCJ says advisory opinions are usually delivered within 6 months of a hearing, although matters can be expedited. A Chaguanas businessman who lost more than $1.3 million after hackers allegedly breached his commercial bank account has recovered most of the stolen money. He says the remaining funds are expected to be returned. The businessman sought redress through his attorneys after reporting the theft. The case renewed calls from the Chaguanas Chamber of Industry and Commerce for stronger cybersecurity measures and faster systems to trace and recover stolen funds. More than 1,000 pounds of plastic bottles, wrappers, glass and other household waste were removed from the mangroves along the Cunupia River on Saturday. The cleanup, led by Kalpu's Bird Sanctuary Tours, drew volunteers, forestry officials, environmental groups and Agriculture Minister Ravi Ratiram. Volunteers braved mosquito-infested mangroves to clear debris trapped among the roots. Ratiram said the effort helps protect one of Trinidad and Tobago's most important mangrove ecosystems and supports the country's biodiversity and tourism.
It really creates a golden opportunity for us with respect to local, domestic, and even regional and international tourism, because we have people from all over the world coming here to Trinidad and Tobago to enjoy what our mangroves and our wetlands have to offer. Our scarlet ibis, our flamingos, and all the other animals that are there in the mangrove. People take tours from all over the world to come here to Trinidad to enjoy that.
Minister Ratiram is now encouraging NGOs, environmental awareness groups and tour agencies to join these initiatives and encourage more people to lend their support. Let's tell you what's still to come in sport. It was a night to forget for the senior men footballers in Kentucky as they were beaten 1-0 by Louisville City FC.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today.
Seven PM Sports News, brought to you by Tattle and Tattle Life.
Bowling off tonight's action, day 2 of the historic West Indies-Pakistan test belonged to the visitors as Shan Masood led a strong fight back after the West Indies missed their chance to take control. Rajiv Surat Singh has the highlights. Trinidad and Tobago's medal hunt at the Central American and Caribbean Games in Santo Domingo continues, but the wait for his second podium finish goes on. Rajiv Surat Singh tells us more.
Tennis player Dylan Beckles came up short in his bid for a medal, falling in the men's singles quarterfinals. Beckles was defeated by Colombia's Juan Sebastian Gomez in straight sets 6-4, 6-3. In golf, Chris Richards Jr. remains in medal contention after an even par 72 in the second round at the Corrales Golf Course. The 21-year-old is 5th overall and 2 under par 142, just 5 shots off the lead. Meanwhile, the men's rugby sevens team produced a thrilling comeback victory, edging host the Dominican Republic 15-14 to book a place in the semi-finals. They will now face Venezuela for a place in the gold medal match. Elsewhere, the beach volleyball pair of Jarif Miguel and Jerome Morrison started with a win, while surfer Aidan Albada kept his medal hopes alive with a repechage victory. But there were defeats for the women's basketball team, badminton players and archers as TNT continues its quest for more success in Santo Domingo. Rajiv Surat Singh, CNC3 Sport.
Archery. Well, Trinidad and Tobago's tough start to the Commonwealth Games continued today as the Calypso girls were thrashed 80-36 by Uganda in Pool B in Glasgow. Coming off Saturday's heavy 81-22 loss to Jamaica, head coach Carlette Nurse shuffled her lineup, handing Demisha Henry a start alongside veteran goal shooter Afisha Noel. The changes produced a brighter opening, but Uganda still led 19-10 after the first quarter before stretching the advantage to 40-19 by halftime. Uganda sealed the convincing 80-36 victory after forcing 18 interceptions and 17 deflections. The result leaves Trinidad and Tobago searching for its first win of the tournament before a difficult clash against hosts Scotland in its next Pool B encounter. And we do apologize for the technical difficulty at the start. Well, Trinidad and Tobago's senior men's football team suffered a 1-0 defeat to Louisville City FC in a preparatory match in Kentucky. But head coach Derek King believes the result provided some important lessons ahead of the CONCACAF Nations League. Here's more.
Cameron Duke scored the only goal of the contest in the 43rd minute at Lynn Family Stadium as the U.S. second-tier club edged TNT men's senior team 1-0. On the field, goalkeeper Jabari Bryce was the Warriors' standout performer, producing 7 saves to keep the scoreline respectable as Louisville created the better chances throughout the entire contest. Despite the defeat, head coach Derek King said the match highlighted the level of intensity and commitment required at international level, especially for the younger members of his squad. The TNT coach stressed that talent alone is not enough, insisting players must show discipline, responsibility, and a willingness to compete for every single ball if they want to earn a place in the national team. The TNT senior men will now turn their focus to September's CONCACAF Nations League campaign, where they face 4 crucial League A matches as preparations continue. Rajiv Surat Singh, CNC3 Sport.
Thanks, Rajiv. Let's head to a break. We'll be right back.
My own personal motto is to show citizens of this country that our stories can be told in a professional and international standard. I want to show them that the journalism they consume on cable TV can also exist here. Each day, that's my focus, that's my drive, to show the stories of our communities, of our people, matter just as much as anywhere else in the world. That's why we are where you are.
Welcome back. Returning to our earlier story on the MV Barima, Guyana's parliamentary opposition has welcomed President Dr. Irfan Ali's establishment of the Commission of Inquiry into the ferry disaster, which claimed over 100 lives. However, they stressed the need for broader consultations to ensure the Commission's independence and credibility. The opposition requests that the inquiry not replace a separate marine safety investigation in line with international standards. They call for the inquiry to address governance, accountability, and any systemic failures that contributed to the tragedy. Additionally, they demand the resignation of key ministers to maintain public confidence in the inquiry's integrity, while committing to support efforts for truth and justice for the victims and their families. Now for a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. The Met Office says we can expect partly cloudy spells with a few showers which will interrupt predominantly fair but hazy conditions. There's a low chance of isolated heavy showers favoring western areas. Nighttime will be initially fair and hazy to partly cloudy with showers favoring the early morning. A mild to moderate concentration of Saharan dust is expected, and persons sensitive to changes in air quality are advised to take the appropriate precautions. Tomorrow's maximum forecast temperature in Trinidad is 33 degrees, while Tobago will have a high of 31. Seas are slight to moderate with waves 1 meter to 1.5 in open waters and below 1 in sheltered areas. Thank you so much for joining and staying with us for the weekend news here on CNC3. I'm Doris Polo. On behalf of the entire team, have a great night and a wonderful week ahead.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC